finding that? Like, just kind of like with your Instagram, social media, presenting yourself. Like, are you having any?
You know,
Is there any challenges as you're going through your transition?
actually, I've noticed a few. Wouldn't really say challenges, but
Yeah.
I'd say when I post things online, I definitely think twice before I post it. I always ask myself, what's this going to look like in a year from now, 2 years from now, a month
Right.
from now?
Right.
I'm always making sure that everything that I'm representing is being well represented.
Right. Right.
And for example, I think about the people that are closest to me, if they'd look at that post, what they'd think about it. Because I like to think that the people that I surround myself know me super well. So that's why I try to think about things from a bunch of different angles. And I've noticed there are some things that I've wanted to post where I look back on it and it's really kind of a wake-up call where I have my, at this point, like I have a personal page where it's just kind of where I set it up to originally just post just like sort of like a spam page on
Right.
on Instagram, right?
Right.
And well, I've never really even used that page.
Yeah.
Because I don't even want to post on that anymore.
I get afraid. Like, I've thought about getting a spam page, but I'm also like, no, that's what Snapchat's
well,
for.
exactly.
Like,
And that's
you know?
the thing. And I barely even use my
It goes
Snapchat,
away in
so-
24 hours. You know.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, like, well, what kind of things were you kind of thinking about not posting? Unless you don't want to say it. But
Well, no, I'm totally open with saying it.
Right.
Absolutely. Like, for example, at the beginning of when I first got my top surgery done, every month I'd post shirtless pictures all the time.
Totally.
I mean, yeah, as a trans man and just me being me, it's totally fine to put a shirtless picture online every once in a
100%.
while.
100%.
But when it gets to the point where you're putting one on like every 2 days, then it
think it
becomes
might
to the
annoy
point
people?
where people look at it and they're going to have that impression like, oh, this again. And
right.
it's
I hear what you're saying.
going back to what we were saying, that image you're putting out for yourself, that impression, right?
Right.
And I don't ever want people to look at me and be like, oh, that's who Adam Schuprick is. So,
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it's showing that I'm confident with myself,
Yeah.
but there's a lot more things that I want to be known for other than just that guy that just
That's
takes
shirtless,
half nude photos.
topless transition photos. Well, obviously, you should always post, and I'm always gonna say this to anyone. I'm
Yeah.
a content creator, and people always ask me like, "Oh, what do I post? What do I post?" And I say, post exactly what you want to post.
Well,
right?
yeah.
So, and again, in the end of the day, if all you wanted to do is post topless transition photos, do it. And if people are gonna get annoyed, then that's not your audience. There will be an audience out there that will go, hell yeah, maybe
Well, yeah.
I need to go through a topless transition. I want to see what the progress is like. So,
True,
you know what I mean? So
but-
there will be someone. Go ahead.
I kind of thought of something, and I'm having this like in the moment realization. See,
Yeah.
magical moments on our podcast.
Yes.
but
Discovery.
I'm kind of realizing too where this comes down to not necessarily, it's just caring what other people think sometimes.
Right.
And come to think about it, as someone who's, in the public eye, like, and everything, it's kind of a lesson where you shouldn't always be thinking about, doing stuff for other people's
Right.
approval, where you should just, like, for example, hey, if I want to post a topless photo, I should post it.
Right.
Because when it comes down to just thinking about what other people are going to be thinking, it's not necessarily the reason to do it, right?
Right.
So it's got to be, like, where you do it because you want to do it, as long as it's not
It
something
have
that's
ill
hurtful.
intentions.
And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of to answer the question you were saying too, is the only thing I've ever caught myself really thinking about before I post something is it going to be hurtful to anyone? Is it going to be something that people will look at and feel like it's going to offend anybody? I don't
Right.
ever want to offend anybody. I don't
Nowadays,
ever
it's
want
very hard.
to.
It's
Exactly.
very hard.
And it kind of goes down to no matter what you post, sometimes you got to really kind of think about who will it affect, right?
Right. And I'll say this on a lighter level, like, I have a podcast, you guys know, YouTube, on the Toronto Blue Jays. And like, I post twice.
That was a very clever, shameless plug.
I thought I'd throw
He
it
just
in.
is
I
like,
thought I'd throw it in.
Why do I feel like
But
there's going to be a lower third that pops up?
follow Blue Jays today.
Our next podcast this
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Click
But-
here.
But the reason why I was bringing it up is because, I offend people's egos. I offend people's opinions. Sometimes people have favorite players. Like, people are diehard fans. Like, that's our audience. And I will blatantly say, because I believe it, this player sucks, or they need to do this, and someone's watching us going, no, like I have a Bo Bichette poster on my wall and I idolize him every day, and you're telling me he sucks. People will comment saying, how dare you do that, and I offend the crap out of them. But that's the thing, if they're not gonna like, but here's the funny thing, they come back and they watch my next video. Why? Because they want to see if my opinions change. Oh, Bo Bichette went 3 for 4 today. I need to see what Adam thinks about that. What do you think about that, Adam, huh? Oh, and then I'll say, Bo Bichette, you're right. He had a great day today. Ha ha. See, I told you. You should have listened to me. But what does that do? They're now part of the audience, right? But
True.
this is totally different. But to go to that back to the offensive thing, it's impossible to post something that won't offend anybody. You could say, I love rabbits. Beautiful creatures, love them. Someone could hate rabbits. And be like, how dare you? These are vile species. We need to get rid of them all. Like, someone will do it. Like someone will be offended. So no matter what you post, there will be someone offensive. Now, offended. Now, if you go out here saying something vile, something super offensive that's like clearly wrong, then yes, you will offend more than half the people in the world. But someone will always take offense. So that's just kind of a lesson to content creators, because the biggest thing with content creation is you have to continue to post, and sometimes you can't even think about it. Like, okay, this is my brand. Once you get used to it, okay, this is what I'm going to post, and you just have to put it out there. Sometimes it'll be a bad post, sometimes it'll be a good post, but that's what you got to do. To be a content creator, to be someone who has a presence online, you have to continue to do it, and you'll find out what really. I've had videos where, like, most of my videos are in a good range, 95% like to 100%. That's a good range to be in. There'll be some that are 77% like, and that's because I'll take a strong opinion that's really unpopular and people won't like it. Or straight up, something bad will happen in the Blue Jays world where people just don't like it in general, so they'll dislike the video because they don't like it. That's happening in the world. I'm just reporting it. Don't hate the messenger. You know what I'm saying? True. But yeah, it's part of the whole process, right? So just go and do what you want.
Just go full in and do whatever.
And then I'll spend so much time on a post that I feel is like so heartfelt. And then it'll get like hardly any attention. But then I'll post a shirtless picture and people go nuts.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, but did you hear the thing from yesterday?
I know.
It's so weird.
Honestly.
And like truly I appreciate the attention and everything, but it's just so strange.
It is.
It is.
Like you can give
It
them
is.
really like a golden gem of information, and people are like, that's nice. And then, oh, John, look at what it's like. But did you see the thing from yesterday?
Yeah, there's people out there in the world who are taking over the internet, being influencers, who are strong characters who grab people's attention by their presence, by what they're saying, by what they're doing. Even if you hate it, like I'm saying with that Bo Bichette example, is kid idolizing it and wanting to prove it wrong, but you'll continue to watch because it is eye-grabbing. Now, maybe Shirtless John was just so like sharp in one direction where it's like, whoa, like nice, and then people are looking at it. And people
So
like
I should
it.
deliver all of my important content with no clothes on.
No clothes on. Exactly. Just
You're like,
nude.
note to
We've
self.
learned.
For all the latest podcast episodes and clips, subscribe to our YouTube channel.